6:30, so we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is the September 11th, 2023 meeting of the Merrimack Conservation Commission. Um, Let's see. Tom, would you go ahead and sit in as a voting member for Eric Starr? We can go ahead and get to the agenda. It's a pretty lean agenda for tonight. We have no public hearings scheduled. No, two items under new business. The first one is our 2023 annual report and annual review to the town council. I wanted to put these on there just so we could kind of, there's a few action items here we could get in front of. Although the annual review to town council is just a presentation, it's a 5-minute presentation. That's November 18th. The annual report goes in the town's annual report, the books you see up here at the entrance and online. But we do kind of do them simultaneously because it's really our opportunity to review not only what we have accomplished during the last calendar year and capture those details and share that feedback with anyone in town who's interested. It's also an important opportunity for us to really chart out what is most important to us for the coming year. And if there are items that, the town council always asks, are there items we would like their support with? Well, this last item on the agenda is one they're already kind of actively engaged in that with us. But that's our opportunity to do those. If you haven't seen our annual report, you just grab one of these, the annual reports right up near the entrance. Or go and look at it online. The annual review is usually we put together. I think you might have been at one of them. Were you at the last one, Andrew? It's pretty, it's short. It's just a short summary, but it's an opportunity for us to show great pictures. Your picture was in one last year. You and Mike Boisvert were rebuilding a bridge.
Oh, really?
You were recycling and rebuilding a bridge. I think we showed the pictures that you took parts, took the old lumber off one and brought it to go from Wildcat to Grader or vice versa. You were in the bridge building picture, I think. But either way, it's a nice opportunity. We had the photography walking group that took some pictures at Grader Woods last year, and they shared them with us. So it was a nice opportunity for us to kind of showcase those pictures and share them with the town council and anyone from the viewing public that wanted to see them.
And that recycling would have been from Wildcat to Greater Woods because we dismantled the bridge.
Is it okay? I forgot which direction it went, but it's just that this is the time. Really, you can all participate in this process as you wish to. Ellen has already volunteered to carry the mantle of putting together the review for the town annual report, and we've already got, and there's some legwork with that, and I thank you, Ellen, for doing that. She ran, you've already got all the budget information, which community development helps us with.
Yeah, that's one thing that the report contains. There are 3 funds that the Conservation Commission draws on, called Fund 51, Fund 53, and there's a special Horse Hill one that was set up years ago. And we need to check the balance of that every year, report it to the town council. And also, part of our report is knowing what community development spent on their line item for the last fiscal year for conservation. I think last year it was the princely sum of $5,000. But that explains the things that we vote for that are taken out of the funds. We make sure that we account to the town council for what we do.
Yeah. So these processes, I guess, will begin soon. I mean, we'll check in on this. This will move to a old business item on our agenda, and we'll continue to share. But this is certainly an opportunity to engage with the subcommittees. If they have feedback, we certainly want to represent that feedback in our report and our annual review.
If you any projects your subcommittees might be really excited about, or things you'd like to get initiatives you'd like to get going, please let me or Steve know, or bring it to the commission, and I'd love to include it in the report.
And
I think I've already talked at length about
maybe
that falls priority.
Yeah, you did a great job rolling those up, and that's the way. If you have that sort of feedback, or you collect that sort of feedback from the subcommittees, just email it to Ellen and I. Don't do it to the whole group because we're going to recap those at the meeting anyhow. We just want to make sure we're not creating a meeting online. That's something we always want to avoid. Anytime there's more than 3 of us on an email, if we're doing that online, then it's just, then we're really, for right to know reasons, we have to recap that in a meeting. It's just not an efficient way to do things. So yeah, if you have those ideas, send them to Elle and I, we'll put them together, and probably every meeting we'll check back in on this topic and make sure that we're covering everything we want to cover in those two, the review and the report. Did I miss anything? And again, that presentation to town council is November 18th for us. And each commission does one, or each commission and committee in town does one of those. Not all on the same night, they're spaced out. Next one is the discussion pending potential renewal of our Merrimack Outdoor website domain with an associated cost of $265. And this, we knew about this because we got the renewal notice. I guess it's a 5-year renewal. You probably I think you all have this in your packets. If anyone needed an extra packet, there are some over there. I don't know, do we want to have any discussion about this? This feels like it's a no-brainer.
I don't want to see it lapse.
No, no, that would be bad news. And Ellen, you probably can explain this for our newer members. How does the maintenance of this Merrimack Outdoors occur?
As I understand it, and I'm still learning this, it's a community development project. The actual, well, we don't maintain the back end at all. Community development does it. However, we do help provide the information that's presented on it to the public. It is ready for some serious refreshment. I will bring that up to the commission at a later date. But that's it. Community development handles most of the stuff the public doesn't see. We handle what the public does see.
Mm-hmm. And we advertise or have our bigger events on there. The seedling giveaway, we certainly promote on that website.
We're ready to take in some more, some fresh photography from each site would be good. We've had some good pictures on there for a while. It's time to refresh them. And describing each property. Want to make sure that whatever descriptions we have are accurate. This is where people will go to find out where hunting is allowed and where it's not.
There are some nice links on there, hyperlinks, where you can take you directly to parcel maps and those sorts of things.
Yeah.
So I guess on this one, we probably need a motion.
So, quick question on
Yeah.
the site. Is there something on the site that talks about the volunteer positions?
Is your green light on?
Is there something on the site that talks about the volunteer positions that are open on the Conservation Commission, the subcommittees, Natural Regional Planning, and so on?
That's a good question.
There should be.
There is for the commission. I don't know if there is for the subcommittees or not. If there is, we probably need to scrub that and just make sure it's still current.
Because we pretty much capture the target demographic right there on that site, so. Any other questions on this item?
I don't know if it's how closely related it is, but along with a website, I was wondering if at some point we could discuss the creation of a Merrimack Outdoors Facebook page for communications with the public on,
That's
the
something we've certainly kicked the
websites.
tires on before. Andy, do you know, was the town working on I think it was a recent agenda item, was the town making a social media policy?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
So at this point, there's nothing to stop us,
Yeah.
provided we handle ourselves prudently.
Yeah.
And I would suggest we establish
And
our
have-
own standards.
The guardrails.
Yes.
Yeah. And have an ambassador of it. And
Our checks and balances.
I think that's the last time we kicked the tires on this topic. I think that's what we were waiting to see, is if the town was going to create a social media policy. And maybe it may not be necessary. We didn't want to do something without clarifying that, but Yeah, certainly. And I think in the past, a lot of we've just felt like no one had the bandwidth to keep one current, fresh. We struggle to keep Merrimack Outdoors current, fresh. Um, but yeah, we should, that's a whole other item. We probably can put that on an agenda for an upcoming meeting.
I think it's a great opportunity to improve outreach,
Yeah.
Mhm.
take a fresh look at it.
And we'd have to discuss things like how much content would we allow,
Mhm.
share a cool picture, but at what point do we limit things like that?
Mhm.
Also, where it would fit into the scheme of the other Merrimack Facebook pages for
Mhm.
various things.
Yeah, I'll add that to a future agenda. Um, someone like to make a motion on this item?
I move to approve.
Out of Fund 51, would that be appropriate?
Mm-hmm.
Can I second that?
Motion to
Said
approve
something.
out of Fund 51, the renewal of this domain for an amount not to exceed $265.
Move to second that.
Second by Karis. Anyone want further discussion on this item? No. All those in favor? Motion carries 6-0. We're whipping right through this. This brings us to other business. And I know this was a real lean agenda item, but this is something we have to get through tonight because it is on the next town council meeting and they're on their next agenda. They're looking for our feedback on this. So you all have in your packet here 2 options. Some of you are new and you haven't been a part of these discussions, or maybe you did see them online. But one thing so every June we revisit our bylaws or our rules of procedure rather. And one of the items we identified, I don't think we didn't feel like anything needed to be changed with the exception of one thing. The Parks and Recreation Committee has a student representative that serves on the Parks and Recreation Committee. We've had a lot of partnerships or involvements with several of the schools in town because they are our biggest neighbor. If you look at all our parcels, the school district is our biggest neighbor. And they use these parcels and would like them to use these parcels even more. And they're good for us and we're good for them. So we saw this as an opportunity to have more collaboration. The process we have to go through to designate one of our membership positions as a student rep involves adjusting the town charter because the town charter outlines how the body's constituted.
Because we are a land use board, it's not like a regular town committee. Membership has to be handled in what seems to be a very complex way, but it's consistent with the land use board.
And what further complicates this is state law caps Conservation Commission memberships at 7 members. So the town manager has done a lot of research on this and helped us come up with these 2 options. But we need to provide, he's going to represent this to the town council on Thursday. So we've got to give him feedback on which one of these we like better. Some other clarifying points. So the state law caps our membership at 7 members plus alternates. There is no legal, you don't have to be 18 to be a member of this commission or any conservation commission and vote. So you could have a minor here that votes. But I guess really with the decision, if you read through these 2, you can see that the difference is how many regular members we have. So do we have a student rep that votes and helps us make quorum? If we do that, then we need to limit this to 5 members plus the town council ex officio, and then the student rep. Or we have a student rep that doesn't vote, doesn't help us meet quorum, and then we stay constituted the way we are now, 6 Conservation Commission members, the town council ex officio, and the alternates.
So I have a question about
Mhm.
that.
Fire away.
Because the manual says that there's a law that says members have to be residents selected for 3-year terms.
Mm-hmm.
So
This is the charter you're reading out of, right?
RSA 36A3,
Oh, that
Oh,
would be
okay,
the
that's
state.
from the,
that's from the state. Yeah, the Municipal Conservation Commission's Handbook by New Hampshire.
Is that from the
It's t-
Association of Conservation Commissions?
Yes.
Okay.
2021.
And they're quoting an RSA.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The RSA, you said stipulates 3 years. If
Mhm.
the person was non-voting, would that impact that any?
No. I think this is still, these two are consistent with that, because the regular members would still be on 3-year
Okay.
terms, 3-year staggered terms, appointed by the town council.
So based on the second
Mm-hmm.
option, it sounds like the student though would have voting rights, but it
Yeah.
would still only last 1 year.
And be on a 1-year.
So that's the one I'm not
Yeah,
sure
Yeah.
if it.
I have to agree with
If it
that. I
follows the
think it
laws.
sounds,
I guess I asked this question another way. Did anyone like option 2 better than option 1?
No, I prefer, I very much would like to see a student representative without voting privileges.
So you prefer option 1?
I prefer option 1.
I mean, that's the way the school board does it, right?
Yeah.
and a question, does this also apply to subcommittees? Because Wildcat Falls has been thinking about, all right.
No, this is just for this commission. I think just because of the school year, the calendar year, if you had a voting member, it may be really challenging to make quorum during certain times of the year, because we're probably not going to get this person recommended from, we can say it's a 1-year term, but
It's really a 9-month term.
it's really a 9-month
Mhm.
term.
Yep.
This was pretty easy then, so we all like option 1 better. Fantastic. And I don't know, Andy, what happens from here? You folks will talk about this Thursday.
Yeah, so Paul will present this to the town council, I believe. Paul will present this to the town council. We'll probably discuss it. If nobody has issues, we'll probably vote on it. I'm not sure if it has to go to the public hearing, but it'll wind up in the ballot when we go to vote
Mm.
here in the spring. And assuming the voters approve the change to the charter, then
Mhm.
go through.
There aren't public hearings or anything for, it's just
I-
you
I-
guys vote
no,
on
I-
it and then it goes on on the ballot in April with a,
I would assume that there's gonna be a public hearing. Paul would be the person to
Yeah.
ask, but I would assume there'd be a public hearing, and then once it passes the public hearing, it goes to because, it can't, I mean, if it went to ballot and voters didn't have a chance to
Mhm.
speak for or against it, right? The town
Makes
council
sense.
is their opportunity to do that. So I would guess it goes to a public hearing and then it goes
on the ballot.
on the ballot.
We appreciate how quickly they took this item up for us.
Yeah, I just think it's a great cause, right?
Mhm.
Everybody thinks it's a great idea, so.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is approved, it probably wouldn't take effect at least on a year, right? I mean, it has to go, you said it has to be, I'm sorry, you said it has to be, voted on in the town meeting, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, this wouldn't come into play until at least, I would say, the beginning of the school year
Yeah.
following.
Right.
Yeah, okay,
Next
Yeah,
school, yeah. next
exactly.
school.
okay.
But we're not looking at specifically limiting the representative to the school year. You said 9 months, but
But
if they'd
no.
like to come over the summer,
If they would like to stay
Certainly
over the
welcome
summer,
to.
would, yeah, it would be a 1-year term.
and the reason this has to go onto a ballot is because it's an amendment to the town charter and any
Exactly.
amendment. All right.
Yeah, if it were only, and we tried to go down this path, if it were only in our bylaws, we could change it. But yeah, it is in the town charter. The town charter spells out for all the commissions and committees what the composition of those are going to be.
Subcommittees are a creature of us, and we can
Okay.
set the
Mhm.
rules, but we're
I
a
know
creature
many
of
the
state
rules
law.
are.
Okay, so if there's no other discussion or questions on that, I'll give Paul our feedback. Brings us to approval of the minutes.
before we go there, I'd actually like to ask one other question about this.
Okay.
Are we planning on giving some guidance to the school board about what kind of candidate we would like to see?
Absolutely. And I don't know how Parks and Recreation does that. I think what we would probably want is a champion of this program. Someone with educational background, and who could be kind of the sponsor, to help them.
Yeah, okay, I get it, and I can do that.
Yeah.
So, and along with that, again, to make some work for you, sorry, something like a statement of work, what we expect them to be able to accomplish.
I
on
think
the
it
commission.
would be a civics lesson, a year-long civics lesson for whomever fill this position once we get filled. You and I had previously spoken about that, hadn't we? Or did I just intend to speak to you about that?
We can discuss whether or not we discussed this after.
It was a great idea when I had that conversation with myself. Everyone agreed. All right, well, that brings us to approval of the minutes.
I move that we approve the draft minutes from the August 14th, 2023 meeting with any of the following amendments. I have none.
Motion by Ellen. I second.
Second.
Second by Andy. And, you had no
That's correct.
corrections. And just for the new folks, if you were not at the previous meeting, but you watched it, or you don't have to automatically abstain to a vote to approve the minutes.
I was going
in
to
those
ask if I may
situations.
abstain if I have not.
Yeah, no, if you haven't seen it and you're not uncomfortable or you're uncomfortable approving the minutes because you didn't watch the meeting. But a lot of times if someone misses the meeting, they'll go on Merrimack TV and watch it. By all means, if that's the case and you feel comfortable approving the minutes for a meeting you were not at, you were certainly eligible to vote to approve those minutes. If not, you abstain. That's not a foul either. I also did not have any changes. No further discussion. Let's vote to approve the minutes from August 14th meeting. All in favor? 2, 3, 4, 5 in favor, and Karis abstained. It's usually appropriate as one of the newer members will make the final motion of the evening.
Do it last time.
What?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Karis, second by Tom. All those in favor? Thank you very much.
6:57, guys, you're getting good.